All right, this is the last chapter of Access, at least the required ones. You can go and discover the other maybe 2 or 3 chapters available. It's kind of like advanced topics, but they are not covered in this course. This chapter is about forms and reports. You can like so look at general what our forms is and what are reports. Forms actually, instead of entering the data into the tables by itself, you can create a form for users to just fill in data into the tables. Okay, so if you're not, most of the people are not familiar with the table concept, just create a nicer form for them to just enter the data. Okay, if you go and work in any data entry field, you'll just see the form. You don't see the database actually in behind. What's happening is that you're only dealing with the data from the tables through the forms. Okay, so forms is your way, the user-friendly way to connect with or interact with the data in the database. Okay, so we have we're going to see a few types of forms. We're going to create forms. We're going to edit them. It's kind of like a tedious job, but you just know how to do that. Reports is another form of queries. Okay, when your boss say like, show me a report for something, you're actually creating a query, but in a fashionable design. Okay, it's not that simple row and columns. You can actually customize it, put pictures, put colors, put conditional formatting, as we saw in Excel. Okay, so we're going to cover these 2 types there, and we're going to be done by or done from Access. Okay, there are some things here for you to read. So they are like shortcuts in the keyboard. We have all different keyboards, Windows or Mac. Some of these are not available on Mac computers. These are for you to read. And kind of like the difference between editing the data from the table itself or using the forms. For example, let's jump an example here. If I want to edit the employee table, I'm just going to go there, and these are my employee. Okay, I can see everything. Any mistake here is permanent. If you delete something, it's gone. Okay, it's not recoverable. You have to be careful when you deal with the tables. But instead of dealing the table, you might want to deal with the form. Okay, so if you create a form for that, it's more a simpler way. Here, another disadvantage here is that you only see records one by one. Okay, so you only see one record at a time. We can see later how we can create a different type of views called the split view or split form. You can see everything. But here, you're only dealing with data one by one, okay? Instead of going to the table and you see everything there. So there are like advantage or disadvantage. Depends on your level of expertise. For example, if you become more advanced, you don't want to deal with the forms. You just want to go into tables because you're familiar with tables. Okay, you know how they work. You know how it is something there. Okay. The first thing we want to do with the forms actually is like tables. For example, if you want to search for something, you can go and click find there. For example, you want to look for a city. If you select this field and you want to look for people who are in Las Vegas, you go to find there from home, find, and you type Las Vegas. It's the current field, so this is the field that we're selecting. And you find next, and you will find the first one or the first record that says Las Vegas in the city. If you click again, you'll find the next one. So instead of like going all over the records, you can actually use the find. Same thing with the table there. So you can do here and click on the city. You click find, and it will find it for you. Okay, you work both ways. So this is a regular form. This is what we created, all we created before. So you just go to create, and you click form there. You click the table name and the form, and it will just create it for you. But there are other type of forms there. This one called the split form. Okay. This type of form, we can see that we have the regular form that we see up there, but we also see the table design at the bottom, okay? So for example, here, if you go and change the record, you can see that you see all the table down there, and you also see individual one, okay? So instead of editing table or data from the table itself, you can edit it from there, but you still have the whole view of the data, okay? This is called the split view. We're gonna create one later. Another type is called the subform. This is subform. This is a form, and there's another form down there. This is very useful if you have one-to-many relationships connection. For example, this one will use the customers and the purchase history. So this customer here had 2 records in purchasing, okay? You're seeing the 2 tables together. If you navigate, you can see that we have 2 navigation there. This is record 1, this is record 2. But if you want to jump to the next customer, you go down there and you click next. So this is the second customer who has 6 transactions, okay? There's another customer who have nothing. This has 3 transactions. This is called a subform. So it's 2 forms together in one form. This is very useful to actually enter data from there, or see, for example, here, if this customer made a new transaction, just go simply here and just enter it there, okay? What happens is that Access will take this data from here and put in the table, the purchase history table, okay? This table. We said about use and form, okay? We can, example. We have the layout design and view design. Let's say, sorry, the layout view and design view for forms, still in forms. Layout view is more of a customization. So if you want to change the width, for example, of a field, if you want to change the label name there, okay? But if you go to the design view, this is more of a complicated one, okay? So let's actually create our first record, let's create an employee form there. Okay, so I want to click employee. I want to go to create. And instead of using the last time we used the form, this one. So you click the employee table and you click form, it will just put all the fields for you. Okay, now we're going to use the wizard. So I'm going to go and click form wizard there. My table is going to be employee. I'm going to add everything, all the fields. I can select certain fields, okay? There are different views there. I'm going to select the first one. These are for you to discover, so if you want to try different ones. I'm going to give it a name up there. And you click finish. So this is an employee form. If you go and click design view, these, they are called controls, okay? So these boxes, we call it controls. And we have 3 main types of controls in forms and also in reports, okay? We call bound control, unbound control, and calculated controls, okay? We're gonna deal with 2 types here, the bound and unbound. The bound ones, they actually have a source in the table. For example, this one, employee ID, it has a source in the tables, right? You will pull data from a source and display it in this box. So this is called bound. These labels called unbound, okay? Or for example, the name there. These are not related to anything in the tables. You can just change them, okay? You can put here my report, okay? You can change the names. But these values there actually have sources that pulls or put value from on into, okay? You can, for example, here you can create a new control. Let's say these are labels there. So you see the type of controls up there. You want to create a label. And you want to put it down there under the footer. So I'm going to drag on a type created by the instructor. Okay, I can change width. And if you go now to the form view, you'll see that it's kind of like a signature down there. Okay. Switch back to the design view. I want to add more fields. For example, if you forgot to add a control there, if you add everything except the phone number, okay, you want to go and add something called text box. I'm going to add that text box there. I will give you a label already there. So it's called unbound now because it's not connected to any field. Okay, I want to go there. I want to be at the sources. Properties. Properties. This is the control source there from the properties. I want to show here the phone. Okay, so now you can bound source. It will just pull the data from that table. If you go there and click form view, you can see that I added a new field, which is text 16. I can go and change that name from the layout view or from the design view, doesn't matter. So if you go to design layout view here, you click phone. See that? So you can edit it actually manually. So think about if Access doesn't give you a wizard or a way to create form. If you want to begin a blank from a design, like black form, if you want to build everything from scratch, you can do that. Okay, if you want to build more sophisticated form for you. Okay, this is kind of like a simple form. We're going to create the what we call the split form, which is showing same data, one for like a one view and table view down there. Okay, this is called. So I want to create the customer. Is it for customers? For customers, yeah, for customers, the split view. So I want to select the table customers. I want to go to create. We have here more forms, all right? If you click on that one, you can see split form. I'm just showing one of the types, so you can go and try actually the other types by yourself. So this is split form there. It's actually split the form for you. So table customers, you can see it one by one up there, and you can see the whole table down there. Okay? The same thing, if you want to go to home and you click on the design view, you can go and change the size, the names, and everything. Okay? If you want to go to the layout view, you can also change sizes there. Good, okay. The other one we call the subform. This is kind of a more interesting one. We're going to create the customer schedule thing. So we're going to create another one for this one, something similar to this one, all right? So I'm going to go to create. And we're going to click the wizard. Now we're adding the customer table. Oops, sorry. This is the customer table. We're going to add all the fields. That's all the fields there, okay? And we also want to add the schedule table, okay? So we added all the fields from customers and schedule. If you click next, it will tell you what is the top one, or the main form is going to be the customer. And this is our form for the support form. To make sure this is selected there. So it will know that this is the top one and this is the lower one, okay? And this option is there because there are two tables connected together. You don't want to pick two tables randomly. Those two tables should have one-to-many relationships between them, right? Otherwise, there's going to be no meaning for it. So we want to show the one relationship, the one side at the top, and the many side at the bottom, okay? For example, you want to show the customers at the top, and you want to show the schedules at the bottom, right? We're going to use the datasheet type of view. You can give it a name, and you finish. This is our form. You can go again to layout view. You can change the name. You can change the location of this one. So, for example, you don't want to give it a name there, so you can delete that one, that part. Oops. Ah. Come on, man. It's a tricky one. Okay. I'm going to delete that part. You can change the location. You can expand it. You can do many things on that one, okay? You can also, you can change the themes of this report. So you can click on this one, you can pick this kind of theme, or you can import themes from outside. You can create actually your own theme and send it to your friends. For example, if you go here and browse, if you have a theme file, I think we have a one here, an example, this one. You can import that theme into your report, okay? You can insert pictures. So you see any insertion there? There's the background colors. You can change the font type. Overly cheat. The size. The alternating colors. I can see the pictures. Should be able to insert picture. I can't see it. I think we have to go to, okay, layout. Sorry, I have to go to layout design, okay? And you go to format. These are the formats there. Arrange, design, insert image. I don't know why I can't do that. Yeah, insert image, okay? So you have to click somewhere outside there. I was clicking inside. So you can click, this is kind of like a table view, all right? It's kind of like a window to your table. So you cannot actually do much inside here. But this is the main report, the outside one. So you have to click outside. You click insert image. You go to browse. This is an example there. And, I think the assignment will ask you to do something similar. So you can just customize. It's a regular report, okay? If this is your design, you can actually print that report. As we say, you can save it as PDF. There's no right or wrong in this one, okay? So if I say, put this color, put this theme, if you change it to something different, doesn't matter. It's important that just to know how to do that, okay? If that color is not available in your computer, if you have a different picture you prefer to put, just feel free to do that, okay? Just make sure that you know these things already exist, okay? This is the form side. So again, we have the split form, we have the subforms, we know how to create them. You can customize regularly as we did in Excel. Reports. Reports is exactly similar as forms, but reports, you don't input data. You just pull data out of tables, okay? So if you go to report side, if you're going to create, you still have the wizard, or you can have the regular report that there, design and everything. So we usually use the wizard one. There's an example of a report here. Let's go by. I think we have done few reports in the first and second assignment, okay? So notice that there's no pulling data from there. So if you go to home design, we have the print view design. This is different than the other one. This is how it looks going to look like if you print it in a real paper. But again, if you go to the design view, you still kind of like do the same thing. So if you want to add a label somewhere here, okay, and you go to the view, you're going to see your label is there. Okay, so it's kind of like similar thing. But now, in this one, you don't add, the data is actually pulled out for you. Okay. What we can do from the report, see these totals? Sometimes Access will assume that if you're making a change here, it will change everything. That's why if you click on just one field, it will select all of them for you. It already knows that these all go together. Okay, they're not like stacked. But let's do a conditional formatting. Remember our conditional formatting? How we did that before? So for example, I want to show the values that above 20, let's say 20. I want to show the values that above 20. I'm going to create a new condition here. Any value above 20 will be a different color or a different font, okay? I'm going to add a new row. And this value is going to be greater than, let's say 25. Okay, if it's greater than 25, I want to change the background color and the text style. This is okay. I'm going to apply that. You see, it's a report. Okay, it's a dynamic report now. So every time you generate a report, your numbers are different. You're going to see these conditional formatting applied. Okay. I want to go and create a new report. For the employee. So a simple wizard report will tell me which table you're looking for. So I'm looking for the employee table. I'm going to show all the data in there. Click next. I don't want to add any grouping, so I just want to show all the employees all together. I want to ascend by last name, first name, tabular, portable, next, and finish. This is what you usually created before, right? In the first and second assignment. We just did that. If you see, the field here is not correct, so you want to go to close that view. You want to go to layout view. I want to increase the size there. Just make it visible. Okay. And now this is a report. This is one type of report that includes only one table, data from one table. We can create from two different tables, and then we're gonna see different options there. So if you go to the report wizard, now we're gonna create an employee and a schedule. So we want to see who are the employees who already have scheduled appointments. So the table here is gonna be employee. And I'm gonna select the last name and first name only. And I also want the schedule. I'm gonna create the surface. the date and the customer. Now it'll tell me if you want to add, to view your data by employee. So you're going to see the employee at the top and the schedules at the bottom. I want to do that. But now I want to group by dates. So for each employee, I want to see the records by dates. Okay, so you could see like one employee up there for one date, and you see another time and the same employee with a different date. I want all the dates for the same employee to be in one part. So I want to group by the date. I want to put that in there, and by default, it's going to group by month. Okay, I don't want to group by month. I want to go grouping option there. I want to group it by normal. By normal means it will just group by the whatever data available in your table. Okay. You can group by different ones. You can group by year. But here we're going to group by normal. So we'll just use the data from the table. I want to ascend by, I don't want to ascend. Same view there. Next. Give it a name. Finish. Oops. I want to go to the layout view. I want to change this, make it visible. Okay. Now you can see that this employee has these scheduled. This employee has these scheduled and so on. Okay. It's a report that actually has two data from two tables. What else? So far, all our tables involve text data. Now we want to add fields that actually have numbers. We're going to see how numbers actually affect the reports. You remember when we created the tables, for example, here, we said it's very important to actually decide on the field type, okay, or data type. So if it's number, Access will treat that field differently. It will know it's number. It will apply calculations to it. Okay, you will know these numbers need to be summed or averaged, whatever. If you pick the wrong one there, it might affect your report. For example, here we're going to create a report that actually has numbers in it. So we're going to use, as an example here, the invoice table. So we have the invoice table. I want to add, let's say I want to add everything. I don't want the customer ID. I just want the totals there. He will ask me if I want to group by something. So I want to group by maybe date. Again, the default there is by month. If you want to change it to normal, it's up to you. Let's keep it as month there. Look what's happening if you click next. It will give you a summary options there, right? Because we have numbers, it will ask you, do you want to sum these numbers? You want to average them? You want to show the minimum and maximum, okay? For example, here I want to click sum. I want to show the sum of the invoices, okay? I click OK. I want to send anything. Next, next, finish. So this report is actually showing the sum and grand totals up, down, right? Because it's numbers. They are numbers. They are not numbers. You will not see this option. Okay. Again, you can go and put conditional formatting or apply anything you want there. and save. I think that's it for today.